Here are some tricks we like to do with glassware. First, we'll take two rock glasses, stack them on top of each other, and do a split. Where I'm going to pull my hand back and split the two glasses. Just like that. Another fun finish on this one is take it behind the back. Just like that. Martini glass flourish to stall. In between my finger, spinning around. Into the stall. Here's some fun we can do with glassware before we ice it down. We take a shaker tin, grab the glass, and just give it a little flick to catch it. You got to get a little tap so we can pull it out. You can catch it behind your back. And you can also catch it behind your head. Let's expand upon that by using a scoop to pick up a shaker tin. All we do is use our thumb to support the shaker tin as we lift it up. We can then flick it out using the scoop on the glass. Do a quick exchange. Then I can use the glass, throw it behind my back, or in this case, over my shoulder. Little flick, and I can bring it out. Here's a fun lemon trick we can do with a tin split. We will be talking about tin splits later on in the program, but we're going to split the tins. I'm going to grab the bottom one as I throw up the lemon and scoop the lemon in. Here's what it looks like. With two lemon wedges on my hand, spaced out, I'm going to throw them up in the air. This front one's going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to take my shaker tin, which is in a melt-down position, and scoop both the lemons. Here we go. Here's some fun we can have with lemons and other garnishes behind the bar. If we take a very thin lemon slice and fold it, put a nice bend in it, we can actually throw it behind our back and land it on the edge of the glass. To catch a cherry on the end of the toothpick, first of all you need some dry cherries. Make sure they're quite firm, and practice by throwing the cherry up in the air and catching it in your mouth. Then we need a very sharp toothpick. The toothpick is going to go in your mouth so that you can see the point. You still want to be able to see the point right at the end of your nose. I don't suggest trying this and actually serving the cherry, but it is a neat parlor trick. Here's what it looks like. Shaker tins. With shaker tins, we can split them and we can nest them. To do a nest, we want to watch as the bottom of the shaker tin comes around and nests inside the next shaker. So I'm holding it in my left, I'm just going to gently throw it and watch it as it comes all the way around, similar to doing a stall, but we're going to catch it inside this shaker. There's our first nest. Splits. I like to do my splits by pulling the top shaker tin up with my index and thumb, with my middle finger and other fingers holding the bottom shaker tin. This first split is going to go to the outside. So I lift it up and separate it just a little bit and throw it. The bottom shaker tin is the one that's going to come over to my right hand. Just like that. So we'll do it again. There's a nest and split. Sometimes I like to use my other hand to speed it up. A little bit of practice, you won't need to. Nests from across the body. We'll open up the shaker tins. We have our first shaker tin between our first finger and thumb in a standard grip, and our second shaker tin just in a standard grip in our left hand. What I want to do is I want to throw the shaker tin sideways, throwing it from the outside so that we'll nest in here. One rotation, a little bit more difficult actually, then two rotations. You'll find when you practice that 2 rotations on a lot of objects actually gives them more control. So there's the across the body nest. Very similar to the outside split is the inside split. I'll take the nested shaker tins. I'm going to actually use my thumb to split them and throw it to the inside of my body. Again, splitting it out, pushing it underneath, and I'm actually pulling with my thumb after I push underneath for the inside split. For the behind the back nest, we have to start with one of the shaker tins in a reverse grip. We're just doing a regular behind the back throw, but instead of catching it in my left hand, I'm going to nest it into a shaker tin in my left hand. So again, reverse grip, nest. Reverse grip, throwing it up, nest. We'll try it with a double, nest. To do a split behind the back, we take the nested shaker tins, throw them up into a reverse grip. Now my fingers are kind of bent on the reverse grip. As I turn the grip upside down, my thumb and baby finger hang on to the inside shaker tin as my other fingers extend the outside shaker tin, thus creating enough space for me to do the split. And then I just take it. It's actually a piece grip now that I can throw behind my back. So catching it, opening it up into the piece grip, behind the back, split. Over the shoulder nest. We have to take the shaker tin and put it in a reverse grip or a piece grip and hoist it over. We want to make sure we get enough rotation out of the shaker tin to make sure that the bottom of it comes into the other shaker tin. Just like that. Okay? So reverse, piece grip, nest. Let's take this nest and split it over my shoulder. Again, I'm going to take my standard grip, go to a reverse grip, push it out into a piece grip, and over the shoulder into a split. Reverse, open it up, split it over. Let's take all those moves and put them together into a sequence. Nest, split across the body, inside split, one reverse behind the back again, split, over the shoulder, and over the shoulder split. There they are. Split, nest. That's where we do in one move a split and a nest. This is the forward split nest. I'm going to separate the split, getting it ready to go. The bottom tin is going to shoot up in the air. I'm going to grab the tin that was on the inside with my right hand to do the nest. Here it goes. The first nest. The inside split nest. Here's the outside split nest. I'm going to use my thumb, pop the shaker tin up to open it, and grab it with my other hand and catch it. Behind the back, split nest. Reverse grip, split, and pull it in. Over the shoulder, split nest. I'm going to open the shaker tins up. I'm actually going to catch the inside shaker tin with my right hand after the split. There it is. Let's take all those split nests and put them into one sequence. Forward, inside, outside, behind the back, and over the shoulder. Here's the same split nest sequence using the same hand. Forward, inside, outside, behind the back, and over the shoulder. Let's apply the same sequences that we used in the shaker tins with bottle and shaker tin nest, the forward nest. We'll give it a little snap of our wrist so we can send it over to this hand and back again. Snap, open hand grip, behind the back for the nest, and this time I'll catch it beside my neck, for over the shoulder with a piece grip, right into the nest. Let's add a hand spin to the shaker tin as a flourish. In between each of the nests, I'll spin the shaker tin just once. So a simple hand spin, make it look a little prettier. This next sequence of moves will show how we use the shaker tin to create variety. The Flair bottle will be doing the same set of moves the whole time. The shaker tin is going to mix it up a bit. Just like that. Stalls. They're all about the bottom of the bottle. What you want to do is you want to catch the bottom of the bottle on the top of your hand. So we watch as it comes around, we're going to throw it up and bring it down. We want to watch as the bottom of the bottle comes around, slowly get our hand underneath there. So gently up and bring it down. To exercise these after you know how to catch it, try pushing the bottle forward and stalling it. And then pulling your hand backward, snapping the bottle around. We can snap it up into a piece grip to go over the shoulder and do the same piece grip to go behind the back. Now let's talk about using bottles that are half to 3/4 full, a working Flair bottle. The first move in this sequence is just a popping of the bottle, where we pop it up and catch it in reverse grip so I can go into a pour or move on to other moves and other grips. Popping both bottles up gives me full control over them, and there's still great movement for the audience. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight every time you throw it, but it does need to remain somewhat straight so that we don't lose any liquid or spill anything. Into a pour. So it's just popping the bottle up. Now let's talk about taking two working Flair bottles out of the well at the same time and pulling them around like this. We throw them up and we have to pull them around because we need to force the liquid into the bottom of the bottle. Okay? We break this down into both bottles. The first bottle, the one in the right hand, gets thrown up, and I'm going to catch it in an open grip and pull it around. In the second bottle, I throw it up, and I'm going to catch it over top of the body and pull it around. So here we go together, all the way around. Pulling it, resetting, and after I've reset, I can go into any kind of pour I'd like, or move on to another sequence, another move in the sequence. One more time, we lift them both up and pull them around and into a pour. Let's talk about popping both bottles out, catching one behind the back. We're going to split the bottles. My right hand is going to catch the left bottle, and my left hand is going to swing around my body to catch the right bottle. So here we go, popping both of them straight up, catching the second one behind my back. So when I pop them straight up, they're actually on a bit of an angle to throw it behind my back. You can practice this one at a time, where you just catch the first bottle, and of course the second bottle is simply that. all the way behind. There we go. You can move into your next move or a pour. And they're splitting one behind the back. Our next two bottle move starts by the bottles being popped up. I'm going to catch the left one in a reverse grip. Just like this. This will allow me to swing the bottle around my arm, kind of stalling it on my forearm as I bring my left hand underneath to stall the bottle. Okay, we'll try it again. And stalling it. I need to swing it around to keep the liquid in the bottle. I'm going to take this one now and simply just pop it up over my other arm. Then I can go down into a pour or move on to the next portion of the sequence. So here we are again, popping straight up, reverse grip, swinging around, stall, taking this bottle, throwing it under, and going into a pour. Our next move will be taking a 3/4 full bottle and popping it up over my shoulder. I need to get my fingers underneath the bottom of the bottle so I can really snap it over my shoulder. Just like that. Underneath there, snap it up. I can grab the neck of the bottle either in a reverse grip or a standard grip, but I need to pull it to make sure that I don't spill. And there. Into a pour, or again I can move on to the next part of the sequence. Now let's take all of those moves and blend them into one sequence of moves. We'll pop the bottles up, pull them across and split them behind the back. We'll come up into a stall, pop up and over. I'm going to drop this down so my fingers are underneath. Go into a reverse grip and into a pour. So from 5 moves into one sequence. Something that we need to do when we're practicing catching 2 bottles in the same hand. We practice with our Flaircos, listening for that tap. If that tap is really loud, if you were using glass bottles, they might break in your hand. Those bottles might have broken if they were glass. When practicing with your Flaircos, practice until you can get that tap so it's very quiet, or hopefully non-existent at all. Once you've got it so it's quiet, then you know you can start practicing with glass bottles. So practice with your Flaircos, move on to practicing with glass before you move on to doing these behind the bar. The first grip and catch I'd like to talk about is the lobster grip. We'll start by just catching the bottle between our thumb and index finger. To grab the second bottle, we want to move our index finger over top of the neck of the bottle and open up the palm of our hand. Catching there, swinging it, and opening it up. This way we can throw the second bottle in just like that and catching it with a single and with a double. Now also practice throwing from this grip where I'm throwing the outside bottle to my opposite hand and again swinging over and catching. The next catch is designed to catch 2 bottles that are moving. In this catch, instead of moving the index finger over top of the bottle to open this space, we're taking advantage of the space of these fingers. Our index finger will actually be between the 2 bottles as we hold the body of the second bottle with our fingers here. Okay, here it comes, just like that. Absorbing the catch again with your body. Your hand moves down, absorbing the catch. Because when you're using glass bottles, it can be a little bit more dangerous. Okay, so we'll do that out of crossover so we can catch on the other side as well. Catch, catch. Try throwing from this as well. Catch. Sometimes you have to reach out, but you still have to pull the bottle down. The next catch is so we can catch both bottles into a pour. To do this, we catch the first bottle in our pour, our 1.5 to pour. And again, we can swing the index finger around, giving us a bit more confidence on this second catch into a pour. We can mask that finger moving around the bottle. When we catch it, moving the bottle down, at that time moving your finger around as you open up your hand to receive the second bottle. To do it without moving your finger, again, we catch the bottle, 1.5 to pour, and open up these fingers so you can catch the second bottle into a pour. Just wrapping your fingers around the neck of the bottle. 1, 2. This is also great for catching bottles from behind your back. Catch the first one, reverse grip on the second bottle, goes behind your back, and wrapping your fingers around it so you can nail a good pour. And don't forget to practice on both sides. The next grip and catch that I'd like to talk about is the open grip, where our palm is open to the sky to catch the bottle. To catch the second bottle, it's the same catch as this one where we caught it into a pour, only our hands up like this. Okay, it's a little bit more difficult because the bottles are right over top of your face. We're going to catch it, and again, allows us to bring the bottles around with a bigger motion. Okay, here it is again. Catch, right in the fingers, swinging it around to catch them here. And around the other side. So that's the open grip catch. There are times in your show where you might want to catch 2 bottles beside your head. The audience likes it. There's the first bottle where we've just caught it similar to into a pour. We've caught a reverse grip beside our head. We're going to catch the second bottle in the same grip as we did in the pour. Again, this will be in the reverse grip. Okay? So here we go. There's 1. We open up our fingers for number 2. It's a great way to end a 2-bottle sequence, catching it there. Let's explore 2-bottle exchanges. The 2-bottle exchanges are the fundamentals for more difficult 3-bottle patterns. For this outside exchange, let's examine just 1 bottle first. We're throwing this bottle from the right hand to the left with 2 rotations over to the left and just passing it underneath. 2 rotations, passing under. And of course we can go back the other way. Over, under, over, under, over, under. To bring in the second bottle, I'm just going to throw the red one first, and as it's in the air, just as it leaves my hand, I'm going to throw the blue one underneath. Just exchanging it, just like that. And we can mix it up by going the other way. Now let's make it a little bit more difficult by taking out the bottom pass and only doing outside exchanges. When doing this, I want you to just throw the red one first. So we throw the red one, stop. Now throw the red one again. Red one, red. So you're continuously starting with the same color bottle. Crossovers. I've taped up the bottles with different colors so that I can better describe how the crossovers work. We'll start with the red. All I'm doing is throwing a double to my opposite hand by throwing it out first. So the bottom of the bottle goes away from me, which comes around. You can throw singles. Throw singles until you're comfortable, and then try to throw doubles. So I'm throwing it over, catching, absorbing the shock just enough to release the bottle back up. I want to try to keep the exact same height, or at least very close to the same height on every throw. I don't want to have to reach way outside to get it either. Okay, so we're just going to keep it nice and tight. Bringing the second bottle in. The second bottle is doing the exact same set of exchanges. It's just when the red bottle goes up, as it reaches its peak, it's going to start coming back down. That's when I throw the blue bottle. The first one goes up and it crosses. The first one goes up and it crosses. Always start with the same color. So I'm starting with the red and back. So the blue bottle is actually chasing the red bottle. And actually, once you get started, it doesn't matter which one's chasing which, but they're both going around in figure eights. If you were to follow just one bottle, it goes around in a figure eight pattern. We're going to mix this pattern up with a few other exchanges. Now we're going to do a behind the back exchange. To do this one, again, we'll split the bottles apart. Just following the red bottle, I'm going to throw a double over to an open catch. I'm going to throw it behind my back and catch it back in this hand. Open, catch. Open, catch. The second bottle comes in. The blue bottle starts here. What the blue bottle is going to do, it's going to go from this hand to this hand, just switching it over. And I'm going to throw it into that hand. Switching it over, just a simple behind the back, up and in. Now we'll put them together. The red one starts, goes to an open grip behind the back. The blue goes across to the back. Try it again. Behind the back. And I'm already ready to go. Do it again. There we go. Let's see what all these look like in a sequence. Let's put these moves into a sequence. Outside under, crossovers, open grip behind the back. Let's do the exact same sequence with some flourishes. Multiplexing. Multiplexing means throwing two objects at the same time from your hand. We're going to talk about multiplexing bottles. The basic multiplex starts with one bottle in a standard grip. I'm actually moving my hand down the neck just a little bit, bringing the second bottle in so that the tops of my fingers can hold the top of the neck of the bottle. If you can see here, the bottle is on a nice angle. Okay? The bottle is flush with my front of my body. I'm going to throw the bottoms of the bottle up. The blue bottle will do a double. The red bottle will do a single. I will catch the red bottle first and then catch the blue bottle in a lobster grip. Here we go. Catching both. Start again. Red there, blue in there. Out they go. Just like that. Now let's explore some of the other possibilities with multiplexing. Here's the multiplex catch to a pour. I have the same multiplex grip. I'm going to throw the bottles away from myself. I'm going to catch the first bottle in a regular 1.5 to pour catch. I'm and the second bottle will come in to my fingers where they can grip onto the bottle. Here we go. After I've caught it, I bring it in to my target, being the shaker tin. Here we go again. With the bar being so tall, I like to do the multiplex catch to a pour away from the bar. In case I drop, I don't want to drop on top of the things on my bar. Do the catch and then bring it up into a pour, which adds some great punctuation to this move. Here's a couple of different ways to utilize the multiplex catch to a pour without actually pouring. We're going to do the same move into a catch. I'm going to bring them down to a stop so that it does not start pouring. I'm going to swing it around my body so I can do a throw behind the back. Here we go. Catch. Behind my back. We can also do it over the shoulder. Same catch, swinging it under, over the shoulder. Makes a great two-bottle pour. Pour. Right into the pour. Let's take the multiplex from one hand to the other. Again, we'll start where the blue bottle is just a little bit lower than the red. I'm going to throw the bottles from this hand to my right hand. But instead of throwing them forward like I did with the first multiplex, I'm going to throw them just a little bit to the side. I'll be watching for the red bottle as it does one rotation that I'll catch in my standard grip. The blue bottle, when it's finished its second rotation, will land in the lobster grip. Here we go. To move it over to the other hand, I can actually just move my fingers around a little bit, pull my index finger out from between the two of them, and throw them again. The red bottle again is in the higher position. And back again. Keep on practicing. There's all kinds of fun we can have with the multiplex. Here's one of my favorite multiplexes. It's an inside throw and catch. I have to start by getting into the multiplex catch of the pour. Now I go to the inside and I throw it and catch it. I have to flick it so the blue bottle gets some good momentum so I can catch it there. I'll show you again. Here we go into the pour. Bring it to the inside. I'm pulling my finger out from the center and making sure there's a good separation between the two bottles. To the inside and out. One more time. Finger out. The inside out. Another way to do a two-bottle hand-to-hand exchange is multiplexes to the outside. Here we go. Multiplex grip. Throwing it. You have to give it a little bit more effort because we want to spin that blue bottle all the way around. Catching it, moving that finger out from between them, you're set to go back the other way. We can also use the multiplexes to start a two-bottle pattern. We do that by splitting the multiplex. Watch the blue one as I catch it behind my head with my right hand. This allows me to go on to another two-bottle sequence. Splitting it there. I can also split it to behind my back. Catching the red, the blue bottle goes behind my back and starts my next sequence. To do a split from a pour, from the pour grip, we're actually just going to push the blue bottle out a little bit more and catch it over here. I'm still catching the red in a pour, pushing it into a reverse grip, and catching the blue over here. Lots of fun ways to start sequences utilizing the multiplex in more of our Flair routine. This is the explanation on how to do a 3-ball juggle. To begin this, we start with 1 ball. We want our feet underneath our shoulders, nice and comfortable, and our hands straight out. Start by throwing the ball in a nice arch, back and forth. You want to make sure that the top of that arch is just at your eye level. Just going over top, so keep an eye on the ball, and try to make sure that your hands aren't stretching to catch the ball. That way you're keeping it nice and tight. And when you're comfortable with this, then we'll move on to 2 balls. Now let's talk about how to use 2 balls. With 2 balls, what we need to do is start with 1 ball in each hand. We'll throw the first ball up in the same arc as we did with 1 ball. Just when it starts to come down, we want to release the second ball up. The first ball goes up, second ball. Up, 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 up. Always start with the same ball. So we're starting with the plain red, up, up, and again, starting with the same red, up, up. Exact same pattern as with the bottle crossovers. The 2 balls chasing each other in a figure-8 pattern. This is the most difficult level of juggling. Once you've mastered 2 balls, the 3rd ball is pretty easy. With 3 balls, we start with 2 balls in the same hand and 1 ball in your other hand. We're going to take all 3 balls. The ball on the outside will be the first ball to go. So just try it a couple of times, just using these 2 balls. We're going to keep the 3rd ball in the back of our hand. Up, up, down. Up, up, down. Now this time, I want you to do the exact same motion, but we just want to release the 3rd ball. Doesn't matter where it lands for the first few times, it's just so you can get to understand where it's going to be going. So here we go, starting with the blue, up, 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 up. Once you've done it a few times, just count the amount of catches you can do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then try to move on to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you practice a bit more, it'll become a lot more easy. Here's a bunch of different patterns you can do in the juggling. Here's some fun different patterns with 3-ball juggling. This is called a cascade. To reverse the cascade, we want to throw over top. Start by just throwing 1 ball over the top of the cascade. This is actually called tennis. And if we throw every ball, it becomes a reverse cascade. And back to the regular cascade. All right, let's talk about juggling 3 bottles. We already covered how to do crossovers, where we start with 1 bottle and we cross the bottles over, always starting with the same bottle. So I'm starting with the red, throwing it over, starting with the red, throwing it over. Once you've mastered 2 bottles in the crossovers, it's time to move on to 3 bottles. 3 bottles, we use our multiplex grip, and we're going to throw the first bottle out, just like we did with the balls. The first bottle goes up, the second bottle, and then the 3rd. It has to get out of my hand before the second bottle comes down. Practice throwing doubles. It's a whole lot easier to catch a juggle out of doubles. The singles, they just take too long to come around and they're a little wonky. So, here we go. 2 bottles in 1 hand, throwing it out to the side, up, up. Throw it a little bigger at first, gives you a little bit more time in the air. And as you get more control over the 3 bottles up in the air, start bringing it down and see if you can get it a little tighter. Big again. And tighter. And to stop, we just do 2 bottle catch in 1 hand, catching the 3rd.